Hello everyone! In this tutorial I will be demonstrating how you can use external control surfaces such as MIDI keyboards, faders, knobs, etc. with Wwise. This is an introductory tutorial, part 1 in a series of video tutorials, and I will just demonstrate how you can get Wwise to recognize your controller and then assign certain functions to keys, knobs, what have you. So to begin with, we're going to do Control-Shift-C and go to our control surface devices here. And I already have my keyboard set up, but I'm just going to remove them and start from scratch to show you how you can add them. So I'm going to begin by adding my Axiom Pro keyboard first. And Wwise actually supports two kinds of device types. One is MIDI and the other is Mackie control to use with, transport, etc. And now I'm just going to set up my MIDI keyboard and it's going to receive from the USB-A in of my Axiom Pro, and I don't need to send it to anywhere, so we're going to close it. Now I'm going to press Control-Shift-Q for control surface bindings. And usually this will come with a binding already in place in the current selection, but I deleted it and I will add it again now. So you press Add and Learn Binding and then choose Pass MIDI Note. And this applies to current selection, which means whichever object you choose in the Project Explorer is going to be the selected object for that binding. So now let's try it. As you can see, I just press a key and it triggers the object. So this is the most basic kind of binding. And now I'm going to add additional ones to the current selection group. Let's add some bindings that will affect the music object, since it's an object with a longer duration and it will play for some time, so I can show you how it will change different parameters with the controls. So let's start by adding a low pass filter. First, I'm choosing the knob or fader that I'm going to use to adjust that parameter. The controller assignment automatically puts that in place, and then you're going to go to object properties, and as you can see there are a lot of options here. So I'm just going to go to general settings and then voice low pass filter, and that's basically it. And now let's add another one. Just move another one of your faders or knobs and then go to object properties and high pass filter. Let's put another one for volume, voice volume, and of course I'm gonna put the final one to pitch, voice pitch. So these are all bindings for the current selection, which means whatever you choose is gonna affect that. Let's first try it in this explosion. As you can hear, it is affecting the pitch of this Explode mini container. Now let's hear it on the music object. I'm just going to trigger it and it's going to start playing, and then I'm just going to change different parameters. Okay, so now let's try adding the transport option. To use transport, I need to add my controller also as a Mackie device. So it will see the transport options here. Mackie control, and now it's going to receive from hypercontrol in, because that's how Axiom works with the transport controls. Now I'm going to add new bindings for the transport, and in here you can just press the key you want, and I'm just going to press the play button first, and another one for stop. And I don't have a mute button on this controller, but I'm just going to use the record button for the mute function. And finally, I'm just going to put one for looping, which I don't have it here. So I'm just going to go to object properties instead of commands. And there you can just see loop and is looping enabled. You can change that with the loop button on your transport. Yes, so now it's assigned to the loop button. As you can hear, it is starting with the start button, and then if you check the is looping enabled window on the top, you can see that it changes depending on whether I'm using the transport button or not. So let's try it with another object. And as you can see now, the looping is not enabled because this object does not support this property. If I choose this container, same thing here. It doesn't change it. But if I change this sound effect, it affects the looping option. So as you can see, not all bindings affect all the objects. It depends on what the object is supporting. So now it's looping. You can change the different parameters to see how it sounds. And when I press the stop button, it just stops automatically. And now I disabled looping, so it just plays once when I press the start button. And you can still trigger it using your keyboard as well. So that's it for the first part of this tutorial series, and on the next part we are going to be looking at how you can use the global bindings, and also going to create a soundcaster session and a mixing desk session to use with our control surfaces to live mix a game. I hope you enjoyed it, and please feel free to leave any questions you might have on the comments, and thanks for watching.